Well, hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Oh, thanks for joining me on this very special Hump Day edition of Un Poco Mas, the show where me and the gang try to give you just a little bit more news about the world we live in so that we can understand each other just a little bit more better. No, of course, that's not our goal here, guys. We don't want to do anything constructive whatsoever. We want to talk SoFi Technologies Incorporated. Ticker symbol, of course, is SOFI. Guys, I've been toying around with some new fruity intros, such as 3, 2, 1, let's Poco. Of course, one of my favorites. It's your old buddy Danny Deals, and I know what you're saying. Hey, I don't have an old buddy Danny Deals. You do now, friend. Stuff like that, just idiotic stuff. That's my stock in trade, and I love it. Much like I hate all of you guys. But anyway, welcome and hello and welcome. I hope you guys had a great holiday weekend. I have been excessively busy with work and life and family and all that fun stuff, as I know you guys have. But I hope it was a very safe and fun holiday weekend. Back to work now, back to the grind. It definitely felt like a Monday squared yesterday. My dogs were barking. My back was aching. The whole thing, guys. Woe is me. Cry me a river. But I'm not one to complain. You guys know that. Anyway, welcome and hello and welcome. Hope everybody's doing well. It is Un Poco Mas. It's the Shartmaster. Basically, I'm going to try to get past all my, usual just hemming and hawing and try to just take a wild ass guess what's going to happen with the stock. So here we are back to 750. Max pain is 750, closed at 753, opened at 743. Did a little mountain and hump deal, came all the way down. Looks like the low of the day was 742, popped back up a little bit, basically near 750 again. 747, 737. I mean, if you really kind of look at this thing honestly, and volume was 35 million. So, it's like weak tea. It's tepid. It's not extremely bullish, not bearish. Bullish volume would be more 45, 50 million. Bearish volumes, you could see 80 million and you could see 20 million. But the bears don't really like to be around 50 million. There's too many orders coming in. The algo's not able to control things. But the chart is really funky, guys. It looks like it's been in a downtrend, making basically lower highs and lower lows. Of course, you see the lower lows all through here. I see what I want to see. So I drew this weird green dotted line, which represents, I guess P's or, something like that. But looks like a Pac-Man game. But if you kind of come back here to March and you really start to look at these highs, you could definitely make the case that the stock is in an uptrend. And then if you look at this yellow line, which comes off of 750, bounced off of this line just a couple of days ago. I don't know exactly when that would be, like, right here, I guess. Sorry, I can't see the because I'm on draw. That's why. This would have been the 28th, and then tested it again. So we broke through the yellow line, came down for a test, were rejected by this upward trending line that's sort of been a more short-term deal. Looks like we're trying to break out of this descending wedge or downward channel or whatever it is. There's just so much going on with these charts. You can draw a bunch of ridiculous lines. Do they mean anything? Do they not mean anything? The bottom line is, guys, I don't think this thing's going to keep going sideways. The volume's been increasing. There's just too much action. It looks like market makers want to move one way or the other. Obviously, the shorts want to push down. They were shorting pretty heavily today. If you take a look at the live short interest, I don't know, maybe they returned some shares. No, 4.62 million shorted. Cost to borrow still almost nothing, as it always is. On the SoFi stock. In fact, quite often brokers are paying people to short the stock. So the short interest is showing 186 million, and shares on loan showing only 176 million. Of course, another 5 million or so. So it looks like some of these, at least some of them are long short. Some of them are probably a little bit naked short, but it's not this usual deal where there's tons of extra shares on loan that have not actually been sold short. It's actually the opposite, which is a very, very unusual condition for SoFi. So you guys could tell me what you think is going on there with the shorts. In terms of the options, Max Payne again sitting at 750, have a lot of open interest, at 850 on calls, and then volume coming in. Almost everything's at 8, and with the puts, most everything is at $7.50. So, looks like market makers want to hold this thing. I would say somewhere around 765. I'm just kind of speculating there. Last week, Max Payne was still at 7 and the stock closed more 8. So, you think option sellers got spanked, but really they probably didn't. They're probably making moves on both sides and, playing the run up also. So it's just, you can make money a lot of different ways. It's not all, you can't take everything just at face value. So, guys, let me take a breath. Definitely fruity intros, bread dab. Absolutely necessary. But if you look at this chart, guys, I mean, it came off of the 6 level, off of this blue line. So found support there. This purple line was resistance, broke through there convincingly now a couple times. Found support on that line again. My contention is that this move is essentially going to be the same thing as this move, and we're going to get a continuation move up through $10.11. I think the consolidation has been extreme here. I mean, if you really kind of get past all the schmuckety duckety and you just draw a line like of mass through this area, this whole thing, it's basically coming through here. You had this huge move up, and then you've just had this very long period of consolidations, some pumping, some dumping. It's gapped down, it's moved up. The market makers have done their thing with it, 8 ways to Sunday. But you see there's a distinct, channel here, comes up here, and it's trying to move to the upside here toward $10.11. That's my contention. Now, I have no idea what's actually going to happen, but all I know is that there's a lot of things lining up to push this stock up into 2026. Noto needs it up. The counterparties need it up, 1250 areas so they can make the maximum amount of money. And they don't put up all that money sort of guessing, not knowing what's going to happen. They can push the stock where they want the stock. The longs are a much bigger bank in this game, than the shorts, in my opinion. If you look at, the institutional owners who are long, such as, Vanguard, BlackRock, some of the others, and I believe Goldman Sachs is coming into the stock. They raised their expectations for 2024, 2025, 2026. They had a small position, and it looks like that crept up last quarter. I just really want you to watch those filings. I feel like if anybody was buying down there in the, $6, $5.85 range, that extreme dip, even $6.20, $6.25, if anybody's buying at 6 and then driving the price to 14, 15, it's going to be Goldman Sachs. And I think they are going to be with their fingerprints all over a huge SoFi move to the upside. It's not just that. Look at S&P 500 inclusion. They need a trailing 4 quarters of profitability. They need a market cap somewhere 15 billion. I mean, it's all lining up. If they can push into 2025, get a huge amount of upward momentum, get S&P 500 inclusion, get over, which would obviously put them over $10 a share. Mutual funds, a lot of others will buy in if they can sustain the stock, over that $10 level. That'll open them up to a whole new class of institutional investors. Then if you get S&P 500 inclusion, that's quite a bit of additional buying pressure on the stock. Then you can see the stock move up to levels, where we think it would be at the fair value. And Morningstar thinks it would be at the fair value. And analysts who tend to do more homework think it would be at the fair value. But I have no idea what's going to happen. Some of you guys think it's going, back down sub 6. I'm just trying to find out, what catalysts do you guys see pushing down on the stock? It's the quality of the loan book? It's that their balance sheet constrained? I see the diversification as extremely positive. I mean, Anthony Noto has built a company here that, works in all seasons. It's a 4-season company. If interest rates are high and you can't cross-sell as effectively, you grow deposits, you grow members aggressively, just like SoFi's been doing the last couple of years. As interest rates come down, you'll throttle your spending, you'll increase your earnings, you'll increase your cross-selling, and you're basically going to have a bunch of organic demand for your products that you don't have to pay for like you had to, these past couple of years. Everything is lining up for SoFi to absolutely explode into 2025 and 2026. And it appears that's exactly how Anthony Noto drew this thing up 6 years ago when he took this job. He said he was going to make SoFi a top 10 financial institution. Why would I invest long-term in this thing? People ask me, is this just a solid company with good management, solid growth? They've been paying for the growth. They've been paying for the members. What's so special here? Is it just a solid company that's been opportunistically growing? Or is this thing a generational opportunity that can 10x, that can be a top 10 financial institution? Can this thing actually reach $45 in the next 3 years? Like Anthony Noto needs it to make his bonuses. Can they actually hit 80 cents EPS in 2026? How do they get there? It seems crazy, right? If they're only going to make, and again, I said right like a Canadian fin turner, I apologize. My apologies to the Mounties and to Yoga Pants Trudeau and to his hairstylist and all the publicity people and to the, I don't know, whoever else is Canadian. All the Moose and all the people and Tanner and Tevis and all the other good people up there. In any case, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. Hope everybody, again, had a good weekend, having a good week so far. Javier is here. Restricted mode. I don't know why I'd be restricted. Yeah, I'm getting like warnings. Yeah, it's like, I guess because I use like too many bad words or like I say turd or something. It's so funny, like with content on here, you could put anything crazy on here. Like there's so much stuff online that is just so over the top. And then my like idiotic sophomoric antics saying turd and calling people a wiener, that will get you, that'll get you in big trouble. But yeah, I definitely put on here that the show is not for kids just because, it's not. And it's meant for an adult audience. There are mature themes and discussions, guys. Let's see. Low Country Luton Pond, thanks for checking in. Mustang Rider, what's going on? Deep Night Labs, what's going on? Let's bitch about the pump and dump today. That's just more SoFi. Yeah, it's not nothing to get concerned about. I think the quarter only has like 3 more weeks left in it. And did SoFi fall apart? The economy fall apart? The loan book fall apart? No. And when they're giving you these estimates and they're telling you they're confident just a couple weeks ago, they already knew what this quarter was shaping up to look like. So data is looking like we're going to get, increasingly looking like we're going to get perhaps that 0.5 point rate cut, which will spur immediate demand for a number of SoFi's products. So I think if you get that 0.5 point rate cut, you're going to get a significant guidance raise for Q4 and for 2024, and probably, right on up through 2025 and 2026. Because people at SoFi who, refied student loans, stuff like that, they like doing everything in one place. They like simplicity. They just don't want a big hassle. I don't think most of those people care if they're getting 4.4 or 4.8%, as long as they're not getting 0.01% interest. Because SoFi provides an awful lot of value in a one-stop shop. Oh, let's take a look. Sorry, guys, had to send a quick message. Got a lot going on, work, life, big dog work. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. I didn't really have too much today because there's just not that much going on. Obviously, they're shorting the stock again today. The shorts have not given up. They're borrowing less shares, but they're not shorting less shares. No new rankings. Tons of good articles, strong buy articles over in this is what I'm talking about. This is SL Investments. Read some of his stuff before. Refinancing demand will likely create an immense tailwind, rating upgrade to strong buy. They're talking about how everyone's underestimating why SoFi is the ultimate rate cut play. SoFi is a diversified business. And I say when they're going to do well in all rate environments. They're going to do well in, an up economy, a down economy. They're going to do well with high inflation, low inflation, high rates, low rates. That's because they built the better mousetrap. They built an efficient company. Why is SoFi able to make that bold EPS prediction in 2026? Because, with $2 billion in sales, they basically weren't making any money. They're basically breaking even. But with $3 billion, they're saying, okay, we're going to bring almost, not all, but a ton of that additional billion in revenue is going to go to the bottom line in net profit. I mean, how else are they going to make 80 cents? I mean, that represents like, what, $850 million in GAAP net profit in just 2 years? So that implies that on that marginal $1 billion that they sell from 2 to 3 billion, like half of that's going to go to the bottom line, or more than half. And then imagine as they scale on the next billion, even more is going to go to the bottom line. They're going to become more efficient. They're going to have less marginal costs. This business model does not have real estate. It does not have branches. They don't have to grow people rapidly. Cost structure is everything because margins are everything in business. When you look at any business, you see, okay, yes, are they able to churn? Are they able to get significant revenues? But the thing is, what margin are those revenues coming in at? Because that's how you reward shareholders, either through growth and appreciation of the share price or eventually through, dividend, share buy, whatever it is. That's what matters. Can you sell your widgets, and at what margins can you sell them? And as you scale, what happens to those margins? Which has everything to do with your cost structure, which was where Noto is a freaking genius. That and hedging, so many different areas. This thing was built for Noto. Noto has decades of experience as a deal maker, an investment banker, a builder of companies, a grower of companies, transitioning, even look at the growth while he was the CFO of the NFL. It's one of their most rapid periods of growth. So he took this job. SoFi was selling $300 million in sales just 6 years ago. They're going to do, according to Goldman Sachs, 2.52 this year. Probably by next year, they'll have almost 10x their sales under Noto's tenure, only 7 years. That's an incredible track record. I know you're going to say, okay, other companies have done a similar thing. Look at the trajectory of Robinhood, at their sales, their profit. Look at the trajectory of Affirm. They're very similar. Guys, those are not properly diversified businesses. Those businesses can be wiped out by regulation, something as big as crypto. Those businesses can be wiped out by competitors. SoFi sort of built a foundation, took short-term pain for long-term gain and long-term stability, and that's where you want to be as a long-term investor, in my opinion. Guys, what are you seeing on the chart? What does this look like to you? Obviously, this is just, one huge move here and, a couple peaks, one significant long downtrend, another significant downtrend. But what you see is these distances just getting tighter and tighter and tighter until here it appears to break out. What's going to happen next? Watch this space. I don't know. But it's going to be exciting. But, I'm going to try to make money off it somehow. Let's see, guys. 21 days to Cute's birthday. I don't know what that. Happy birthday. Let's see. I love the Noto. Yeah, I only caught highlights so far. I couldn't catch a replay. I wanted to play some of it for you guys, but I'm sure most of you have already seen it. What comes across is the tone, how fired up the guy is, how absolutely confident the guy is. No hemming and hawing, no, the risk, this, that. He's like, we are earning the right to win, and we're going to continue to win. And the guy just sounds like a different guy since the last ER. He just sounds, more confident, more energetic. He's much more of a spokesman for the company rather than just reciting statistics. If all I need is statistics, I'll buy Tanner's course. I don't need that, from a guy doing a TV hit for 4 minutes. I need a guy who comes out and gives a full-throated defense and promotion of his company. And that's finally what we're getting with Anthony Noto these last couple of appearances. So that's a very good change in the tone. Fibonacci. Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert on Fibonacci, but essentially the price action is very, very healthy. It came down on a second test of that line right around 750. So it retraced as far as, basically, I think what he's saying is it retraced as far as it needs to retrace, and then it's going to move further to the upside. And you can see that this is pretty critical here, just even in the short term. Here, I mean, it's not super it's not super complicated that it looks like this is up. I can't draw a straight line, but it's up above it. It's in a new channel basically, and it's testing that support line again that was resistance, and we just have to see what happens. It could certainly just crash back down to 6. No question. It could. I don't think it's gonna. I think it's building momentum. It's building volume. And I think the shorts are kind of, between a rock and a hard place here, because they obviously don't want to give up on the stock. But if EPS is about to explode, that's a very hard thing to sort of explain away through double talk and nonsense from pasty shills at, third-rate analyst houses who can't get, real jobs in industry. It's just hard to sell at a certain point. Hey, the company's making money and growing extremely rapidly, growing deposits extremely rapidly. Hey, there's even tech growth there, but like that's what the bear argument has come down to. I mean, come on. It's just a bad company. I mean, come on. It's a dead stock. It's like, come on. Anyway, guys, Caniac, jump on the 20th, interest rates. Well, that's what people are predicting. Other people are saying it's all priced in, but I don't think anything's priced in. It's basically right back to where it was before earnings. But again, earnings just wasn't, all that good, guys. This one, guidance was good, but basically guidance is a promise. It's an IOU for next quarter and next year. So you got to cash that motherfucker in before anybody cares about it. Show me the money. Anthony Noto as Cuba Gooding Jr. in the Jerry Maguire story. Oh, starring a short, angry Tom Cruise. Aging better than I am, that's for sure. But I think he has a team of scientists keeping him in some kind of cryogenic chamber so he does not age since the early 80s, since all the right moves. Anyway, guys, this show has been horrible as usual. The recent run-up in the stock price was signal market makers going to rally at the end of the year. I mean, Deep Night Labs, I agree with you, because what is your philosophy in buying above your basis? I really don't have much choice because my cost basis was down in the low 5s, so I just didn't think it was going back there, so I was happy to buy heavily in the low 6s. I don't really care if it's above or below my cost basis. That can certainly affect your thinking, but I just go by, do I think based today, is it undervalued or overvalued? I think the stock is worth a lot more than it was a year and a half ago. So if the stock was 5 or 550 and I was able to buy there a year and a half ago, but I have to pay 750 today, I think the stock is perhaps even more undervalued today at 750 than it was back then at 550. And you have to factor in inflation over the last couple of years too. So there's a lot to think about, but I'm not just going to not buy a stock just because I have to average up. If I think it's, if I think it's undervalued by a lot, I'm going to buy it, even if it increases my cost basis. That's my test with any stock, guys. Do I think it's undervalued by a lot? I'm going to buy it. I'm not like Deutsche Bank where I say, oh, it's at 7 and I think it's worth 12, but I'm going to put a hold on it. Oh, hold my beer, douche. Anyway, guys, that's about all I had. I got to get back to work. Anybody else have anything to say? Hi, Nala. Hello, I'm the bus in NYC. Don't like her sub. Definitely not Lorraine. I hope the bus is treating you well. Clap my dog. We got Brian, 12 minutes late. Book rewind for adult turds only. What's up, C-Bar? Number 12. What's up, Brian with a Y? We got Mr. Premium. The option is SoFi still SoFly. I mean, I don't know. It's flat the last couple days. It's kind of boring right now, but it's basically, guys, I mean, if you cut past all the crap, I mean, I know it's pumped to 11 and 10 and then it fell to 4 and stuff, but really this thing's kind of been holding in that 7 range. I mean, 793 to 707 for a long time, fell down in the 6s a few times, but it's really been, 6 to 8 here for the last 2.5 years. If you think it's going to fall down and be trending below that in the 3s and 4, I don't see any way that's going to happen. It's got to trend upward from here. Management already knows what's going on in Q3. They're about to speak at a conference. You're going to hear, our guidance is good. So then where do the bears go? Okay, EPS is about to pop. Growth is on track. Way ahead of what we're saying at like 15. It's still above 20. Defaults are trending downward as they have been for, the last 6 months. What's going to kill this company? What's the Achilles heel? What am I not seeing? Where's the weakness in the model? Where's the weakness in the cross-selling? Because so many other companies basically, gave up on student loans, the top end of that market. I think that's going to be incredibly, incredibly important going forward, that other companies like Discover decided to cede that ground to SoFi, because those are super premium customers. And they're not just going to buy other products on the wheel. They're going to buy other products on the business wheel that's going to come in, because so many people with student loans, whether they be doctors or architects or dentists, lawyers, they have their own businesses, or their partners are in businesses, or they're able to give direction on where their businesses go. So that can bring a lot of business to SoFi on a completely new front that's not in any guidance going forward. SoFi is going to open up so many fronts on this FinTurd war that we haven't even conceived of yet. Nothing is in the guidance. LaPointe hints at it. He's like, nothing we're working on is in the guidance, and we're working on a lot of stuff. I don't know, guys. What do you think is going to happen? So much depends on volume and shorting, but I don't know. I just don't think they want to short more than 200 million shares going into what could be the breakout ER. Everybody thought, and I was guilty of this, pumping like a big fat turd. Gap net profit is going to send the stock to the moon. But 1 or 2 cents is not exciting, guys. You might say even a nickel is not exciting, but it's a lot more exciting than penny. I mean, you might bend over and pick up a nickel. Probably not, because you're a fat, lazy, arrogant, entitled turd. Nobody picks up pennies anymore. Probably people who ride bicycles without electric motors. Hey, sir, you forgot your electric motor. He's like, no, this is a normal bicycle. Like, and I was like, what? He was like, and I was like, Anyway, guys, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm going to end this stream before a half hour gets here, because I'm just bored listening to myself. No, that is not Pellegrino. That is tap water. Unfiltered ocean tap water poured into this bottle unceremoniously. Don't sub and like, Chad. What's wrong with you? Absolutely unacceptable. Let me say hello to a few other turds in the audience. We got, of course, Oprah's thick SoFi bag, which is packed for Stedman's holiday. It's Ryan. Let's talk about the catalysts and other hindrances for SoFi. Let's talk about it, Ryan. Well, what do you think? Catalysts, obviously, rate cuts, technology. If a big customer signs on, you'll see that spike the books. Hindrances, obviously, you could have an increase in defaults if we hit a big recession. Let's talk about it, Ryan. What do you think? Give me your thoughts. Put my dog on filtered tap. Yep, put your dog on filtered tap. They don't know the difference. They don't want any hassle. Or Noto is trying to keep playing in this. Guys, this is Noto's opus. This is his swan song. I think this is going to be his last job. I think he wants to make a few $100 million, maybe $1 billion, whatever. Probably, get some of that Chamath money. Let's see. We got, I prefer you place a mousetrap with wild feral hog trap. More exciting. Hey, is that a fat joke, Daniel? That's not right, fellow Daniel. No, yeah, this is what I'm saying, guys. This is a unique investment opportunity. Like, well, it's just a bank. It's just a lender. Like, they can't compete with a firm on lending, buy now, pay later. They're not going to be able to compete with Hood on trading, and they're not going to be able to compete with so-and-so on crypto. They're not going to be able to compete with Toast on point of sale. Whatever it is, but all those companies mostly only do one thing. They're one-trick ponies that are going to be put out of business by somebody who learns to do that one thing better, or that one thing is going to become obsolete or less important, or it's going to change, or it's going to be demonetized to a point somebody's going to give it away for free. Maybe Google. Remember all these companies were like, all these GPS companies. I mean, Garmin's still around making watches and stuff. And, stuff for planes. And so they're legit. But a lot of these other companies, they just go out of business. It's like, hey, yeah, you might have a great idea. And then Google decides to do it for free. And you're fucked. SoFi does a lot of different things within the financial space, and expanding that out to insurance, to travel, home loans, car loans, refi your car. They do a lot of different stuff already. I think I just signed up for like my 8th product. I wasn't even on Relay. I couldn't believe that. I have everything else. I have insurance. I do travel, banking, credit card. But I didn't even think I had an active Relay account. I could have sworn I did. But anyway, so one more product. And then I have a second bank account. So yeah, I'm just waiting for that business banking, more products. I want to get my products eventually into the double digits with SoFi, but I kind of forgot about my whole Operation Chaos Q3 pump the thing, but I've been busy, guys, busy at work. I know you guys have too. Noto ain't Frodo, boys. Also sell covered calls. Yeah, selling covered calls is a good idea because especially if you think this thing's going to, stagnate again, and possibly it could be a little bit of an uptrend instead of the normal downtrend that we see quite often with the stock. Let's see. Premium the option. Jay Gatsby. What's up, Jay Gatsby? Nothing much today, man. Just another grinder of a Wednesday. A bunch of work, bunch of bills to pay, all that fun stuff. We need Tevis to sell SoFi, clear for takeoff. Yeah, let Tevis clear the decks, and then we can get on out of here. Let Tevis go on another tropical or European vacation, and don't sub and like. I hate it when you sub and like. Not a lurker has hijacked my account, and he does not have my permission to use my name, my likeness, my avatar, my receding hairline, my double chin. None of that stuff. That's all copywritten. It's all trademarked. What's up, Benji? How you doing? My good friend, my amigo. Guten Tag. I don't know what that means. Hi, Ben. What's up, Benji? Everybody talking to Benji. Whoa, don't mention 10x as sore subject. No, 10x is not a sore subject for me. Everybody's like freaking out. Oh, the penny stocks went down. You must be so upset. Not at all, guys. The 2 Roth deals, yes, I thought those were horrible deals, and I hate Roth Capital. But this last deal, very legitimate deal. I thought it was a great deal, actually. $100 million carries them all the way through complete FDA approval. They don't need to raise any more money. The nature of penny stocks, guys, here's what always happens. You start to buy in a small position, and if you look at the company's books, they desperately need money, particularly through the high rate environment. So they're trying to raise money. And then you'll often hear a term like strategic alternative. They've enlisted one of these, 2-bit analyst houses, pardon me, to help them out. And then you get one or more horrible dilutive money raises. So usually after one of these raises, the original shareholders will retain 5 or 10% of the company. They'll sell 90% of the company to raise the cash they need. Now, at that point, you have to decide, do I have conviction in this thing? Because what always happens is, say, if they sold it for $4 or whatever, the offering was at $4, the stock will usually fall to $3 or $2.50. In the case of VTAC, they did an offering at $1 and the stock dropped all the way down to 48 cents. So I bought more because I like the product and they're getting purchase orders for their product. Now, the company is being run by IOUs from the CEO, which is not good. But the market cap's 400 grand. So guys, these companies are garbage. It's a pig in a poke. It's a lottery ticket. They're all teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. I mean, 10X was working out of a virtual office because they could not afford like a shared office space in a fucking residence inn. So you have to look at what's going on and see the company does not have options. And a lot of that was the high rate environment. I think with the current deal, 10X is extremely good position to do well. Now, if you were one of the old shareholders that was, wiped out and lost 90% of your money, like me, you're not going to be happy. But that's penny stocks, guys. Chris Norland says they're a lottery ticket. Stay away. And he's absolutely right. But I put 1 or 2% of my stock portfolio, which most of my money is in real estate. So I could lose all my money and all my stocks and I would still go on living. But I just enjoy penny stocks. I enjoy investing in them. I enjoy trying to find them. I enjoy chasing them down. I enjoy, the occasional one like SMMT that like 13X'd for me recently. I took some profits earlier, but I in and out a few times, made a lot on that one. But, GMDA went bankrupt from underneath my feet, and then SMMT goes 13. This is just the nature of the beast on these things, guys. Probably 9 out of 10 penny stocks, you're going to get kneecapped and lose most, if not all, your money. And you're trying to basically hit a home run on that 10th one and make $1 million, which you never do because you're a big fat loser and a visor that says Las Vegas on it. No, guys, I'm just kidding. I'm not, some things you do for fun. Like, do you go to Las Vegas and, play craps thinking okay, I have a good probability to make? Of course not. The probability is you're going to lose money, but maybe you enjoy it. That's how I feel about penny stocks. It's a sport. You're like, you're chasing truffles. You're chasing, it's like mining for gold. Like you go through a bunch of rubble and dirt to find that one nugget that's like a game changer. And that's what's fun for me about penny stocks. But I am under no illusions that they're, a prudent investment strategy to grow your capital. They're not. Most of them are huge losers and they're in the penny stock category and they're desperate to raise capital. They don't have any capital. A lot of times it's just a rotating door. New capital coming in, going out to pay salaries, company really not accomplishing anything, just spinning its wheels. So you got to be very, very careful and don't put in money you're not prepared to lose. But yeah, 10X. Actually, I was, upset about that one the way, like I said, with the first 2 Roth deals. But this last deal I thought was actually really, really good. So I don't know, just in how you look at it. I'm waiting for a fall to I sold some on the pump. I think it got to like 450 and then I want to buy some more, like hopefully 3, but I don't even know. It didn't fall as much as I thought it was going to fall. Anyway, guys, I know none of you follow 10X because, penny stocks are for idiots, such as myself. And up to another $30,000 load and selling puts, 750 puts this morning. Give me some cheap shares. There you go, man. Sell puts. You can't really lose. I mean, you're going to get shares cheaper or you're just going to keep premium. So no big deal there. Hopefully no more casualties. Yeah, oh my God, guys, another school shooting. They just do not stop these mass shootings. I don't have the answer, but oh, man. Something about our culture is really fucked. I don't know. I see it manifest in the way we treat each other, just sort of the indifference, the cruelty, sort of how previously positive traits like kindness and empathy are now looked at as like weakness. And I don't know if it wasn't the pandemic because all these shootings were before that. I don't think it's just gun culture. I just don't have the answers. But, these days with these school shootings, it's like, it's really hard to sort of process and like get your head around why do people do these things? How do people do these things? How do we respond? I mean, one, they always go up. Now is not the time to do anything. Now is the time for thoughts and prayers. We'll do something later. And then they never do anything later. So it just keeps happening over and over and over again. And then, I like if your teen is troubled and has a lot of psychological problems, don't give them firearms, maybe. I don't know. And I'm a gun owner. I'm not anti-gun. I grew up guns. I enjoy, shooting guns. I believe in the right of having one in your house to protect yourself and your family. I'm definitely not like anti gun. I'm just for like sensible regulation and looking at it with like common sense to how do we, sort of quell these, endless string of mass shootings that seem to be a uniquely American problem, or largely a uniquely American problem. I know they do happen occasionally in other countries, but man, is America's unique, but America, we always think, oh, we're the best, we're the shining beacon on the hill. Well, I don't know. We're a mixed bag, guys. I feel like everything is a mixed bag. We have our good points, we have our bad points. And the minute you think you're so arrogant, you think you're better than everyone else, you're the best. I'm very proud, to be an American. I love the country. I'm super fortunate and happy and stoked that I was born here as opposed to someplace else. But, try to look at things realistically. And these mass shootings just, I wish we'd at least try to address them somehow, but it's really so many, social issues, deterioration of the family, just sort of a acceptance and indifference to sort of, violence and people are very lonely. People are not getting the mental health help they need. Schools focus on discipline, but, schools spend a huge amount of money on like special needs education, different accommodations, different laws that they have to follow, but it doesn't seem like they're putting much into, catching people and helping people who are having, obvious mental health problems. I mean, can we address it? I don't know, guys. Enough of my rant, guys. I got to run. Boss is calling. Thanks for watching. It's Unpoco Moss. It's kind of about SoFi. Peace.